dude drive you somewhere. No signs, no houses, a straight cabin. What's up? I am back with another video. It's New Year's 2020. I am ready. We got, y'all saw the title, y'all saw the thumbnail. Let me stop. I'm gonna stop doing that. But I'm so hyped. We got scary animations, true scary animations. I want to start doing more reactions. I have fun doing reactions. I'm sorry for the glare, but I have fun doing reactions. Get your snacks. I'm finna go grab mine. If you're eating a snack, comment before this video starts. You know, I got Starbucks Frappuccino and chocolate covered bananas. I'm gonna burn these later. I'm gonna burn them. Just don't worry. Our first story today will be true online dating animation horror story. Let's just jump in. You already know. Let's get it. Sorry. All the stories will be in the description if you want to go check them out.
I posted this in a comment in another post, and another user suggested I share it here. So why not? So I've been on Grindr for about 10 years, 5 of which were legal. I'm not proud of it, and had plenty of messed up experiences. This one in particular reminds me of when I was at a party without my car. I was 19 in college, and my phone was at 10%, but a decently hot Grindr guy said he could pick me up, and we could hang out at his place before he drove me home.
Pause.
So of course I jumped on the opportunity. Anyway,
oh, it's a
we
girl.
got to his place, okay, and he got me pretty drunk, which isn't usual for me, but never tried to make a move. I assumed he was going to wait, and just convinced me to stay the night later on. Finally my phone died after about 2 hours. The last 1% lasted a lot longer than the rest.
Facts,
and I didn't
really
even have to say anything before he noticed it was dead. Then he stood up and was like, well, let's go to the car then. When I asked him if he had a charger that I could use, he just said, no. After we got in the car, he got kind of quiet.
Hold up. Who don't got a charger? If you got a phone, he hit you up saying, come to my place. You could come to my place before I take you home. How he don't got a charger? That's strike one. That's strike one. That's no.
And less flirty. And I spaced out, just enjoying his music and looking out the window. I didn't even notice that he never asked me where I lived, till I realized we'd been driving for over an hour. Oh my God! Oh, not even towards my town, but into the canyons of Greater Salt Lake City.
You didn't say nothing. Oh my. You didn't say nothing?
I asked him where we were going, and he just said, thought we could just go for a drive. And my drunk ass was like, oh, okay. So anyway, to make a long story shorter, he ended up taking us about 4 or 5 miles down a dirt road with no signs or houses until it dead-ended into this cabin with no lights on or cars outside. And he just parked and turned off his car. That's when the dread started to creep in as I sobered up. I said I drank too much and I should probably head home, but he didn't even respond. He just sat there staring at the cabin. Then he was like, you said you like to be kinky. You're pretty submissive, correct? Bruh. And I was like, sure, but I just meant like normal rough kind of stuff. Nothing wild. And he started to sound a little annoyed, and his sentences seemed a little less carefully worded, like he was spitting out the bare minimum effort in each thought. He said something about some of his favorite people are those who can find pleasure in pain, and if someone goes into shock enough times, eventually it becomes a drug, and they crave it more. And then something about pushing a person into the deep end is the fastest way to teach them how to swim. At that point I was scared enough to assert myself, and said firmly, okay, well that sounds fun, but just not tonight. I just want to go home now. This place is creepy. And he...
Alright, so this is where you messed up at. First, you gonna get drunk. Like You, like, to the point that you don't even know where you're at. This dude drive you somewhere. No signs, no houses, a straight cabin.
He just sighed and gripped his keys tighter. Then, right as I glanced at his phone sitting in the cup holder, right before it occurred to me to grab it.
That's messing with me right now. His phone looks real. It's a whole picture of a phone in an animation. I'm sleep, cuz. I know y'all seen that.
He snatches it up so fast and held it in his left hand, kind of like behind his head, making it clear that I wasn't going to go near it. I made this kind of, what? Sound. And he just gave me this almost, I'm proud of you, son, half smile, like dads do when they pat your shoulder or something. It was quiet, and he kept looking me up and down for a minute or so. Then got a little bit more gruff and said, let's go inside. I have these friends you'll really like once you meet them. You'll feel a lot better.
Chill
Or
out,
something
stop
to
it.
that extent. But he wasn't even trying to sound genuine or comforting like he had been doing so well earlier that night. Finally, I lied and spoke up a bit and told him, I told my roommates and my friends I was meeting up with you before you picked me up. I sent screenshots of your face and some of the convo. They're gonna freak out if I don't charge my phone and reply to them in the next few hours. I try not to make it sound accusatory, but more like I was just worried that my friends would go crazy. But it was clear he knew what I was implying. At that point, he let out an exasperated, grunty sigh and started the car. And we drove. At that point, he let out a...
What was that? No. No, sir. Then why they pulled off that fast? Look at this.
We drove away.
Where did you
Kept his
go?
headlights
Let me
off
stop.
all the way back down the dirt road for some reason. Driving back, I got nervous about him stalking me or coming after me in the future. So I tried to apologize and tell him I was down to hang out another time. But tonight was just not feeling great for me. Blah blah blah. He didn't say a single word to me the whole drive back. He didn't ask me where I lived, and I didn't intend to tell him either. But he dropped me off at a McDonald's about 40 miles away from my apartment.
40 miles. Oh. This girl, bruh. This girl right here. Look at this dude, one hair falling down. You are not Superman. Stop it.
Suddenly leaned over and gave me a hard shove, so I almost fell out the rest of the way. He grabbed my backpack off the floor and flung it out his window across the parking lot and peeled out with the passenger door still open. He broke my laptop and cracked my phone, and I had to ask a stranger to use their charger and call an Uber. But at this point, I was just so anxious to get home, I didn't really give a crap. What's so weird is how, while this was happening, even though I was terrified, I guess I wasn't thinking about exactly what he was planning to do with me. I just knew I needed to get away. So it wasn't until I got home and got in the shower that I realized how messed up it was, and what might have happened if I let him walk me into the cabin. I remember just being so shaken and smacked by the reality of it. Almost felt like a panic attack. So I sat down in the shower, with my head between my knees, and cried till the water ran cold.
Pause.
And I got out and woke up my roommate. I told him about it, and he
Where's
kinda
your
calmed me
face
down.
at?
So while I still have a Grindr account, I really just use it for an ego boost. I'm reluctant to meet up with anyone from it now. Anyway, girls and guys, I suppose the moral of the story is, we gotta be careful out there.
Don't tell me nothing. Look what you just did. Talking about some girls and guys. We gotta be careful out there. No. We saw you. You was finna go in that cabin. Next animation. Alright, so the second animation is true TikTok horror story. All y'all that are on TikTok. I'm not gonna tell y'all what I have. It's just related to it'll be with TikTok. It's gonna be funny. I'm telling y'all. So y'all hit that bell. Be ready for that video. It's gonna be soon. It's gonna be soon. Let's just jump into it.
This happened pretty recent, about 3 weeks ago. Myself and 3 friends were hanging out at a shopping center one evening. We're messing around posting clips on TikTok. Then one of my friends started laughing. And I asked her what she was laughing at. She told me that
You the only one with a big nose. Don't be laughing out of nowhere like you're not even looking at the phone.
That guy behind us kept staring at me. When I turned around, it was some older guy just watching.
Is that Uncle Drew?
He had black sunglasses, a cap, an old Adidas tracksuit with scuffed up shoes, and had a disgusting looking beard.
Why they had a
My
roast
friends
him?
thought it was hilarious, but I found it really weird. Then another one of my friends said she thinks that guy lives on her street, about a few houses down from her. She said that he actually follows her on TikTok.
Boy, if you don't.
At that point, I quickly got my
Somebody get they grandpa, bruh. Somebody get they grandpa.
phone out to check if he was following me, and he was.
Bruh,
I had to
bruh,
block
bruh.
him because he seemed a bit creepy. We went to get McDonald's before we went home, and I received a message on TikTok from someone. It was that guy who had been following us. His name was Greg, and he wrote, "Why did you block me?" with 2 emojis. One was a crying face, and the
Like
other one was an
90 years
angry
old.
face. He had actually created another account that day in the shopping center. Blocked that account
His
as
name
well,
Craig.
hoping that would be the end of it. I didn't mention it to my friends this time, knowing they would just laugh. That night, I was up late and had Netflix on in the background as I was chatting with my friends on Facebook while scrolling through TikTok. I got up to use the bathroom,
The cringe.
and when I returned, I had 3 messages from my friends, all saying the same thing. All were things like, "Who's in your room?" and "What's up with your last post?" I asked them what they were talking about, and they told me to check my TikTok, so I did. It was a clip of my bedroom. It was a clip of someone picking up my phone and recording the inside of my room. At that point, I heard creaking.
Ugh.
Then I heard a man's voice say, "Sorry. Please don't scream." And turned to see my closet door slightly open. I started to scream when the same guy who had been following us burst out of my closet and tried to cover my mouth. Thank God I screamed and it was enough for my parents to hear. They came upstairs and my dad tackled the guy to the floor. The police were called and he was arrested.
Why did he come in like he was he was a football player or something? Like look at him.
They
watch.
came upstairs and my dad tackled the guy to the floor. The police were
He
called
been in the
and he
jets,
was
but he was
arrested.
still slow. Like he didn't get nowhere.
We were informed that the guy had straight up admitted to stalking and breaking and entering. One of my friends pointed out, if I go back and look at the post on TikTok from when we were in the shopping center, you can see Greg is in almost all of those pictures,
Greg
somewhere
and
in the
Greg.
background. I haven't heard what's going to happen to Greg yet, but I just hope he won't ever come near us again.
And you know his hands stink. Last animation, sadly, is True Scary Safari Tour Story by Wanty Entertainment. Links in the description. Thank you. Let's get started.
It was a beautiful day in August. My family and I had just finished packing for our trip.
Walked over there.
We were
stiffly.
bored and hadn't planned to do anything because our trip was in a couple of days. So we all decided to go to the Safari Zoo place because it was only an hour drive and a great way to kill time. When we got there and we noticed that there were a bunch of people at the zoo,
Hey,
my family could get impatient of
Want to see
this, so
you?
we asked the
Want to see?
receptionist if there was anything
Okay,
we could
Lisa.
do that wasn't
Sorry.
too busy. Lucky for us, there were private tours. They were a bit expensive, but
Yeah,
the
that's
lady
what I was about to
assured
say.
us that the tour guides were highly educated and great at their job. We were given animal food and introduced to our private tour guide. When we first saw our tour guide, we noticed he was a little off. He had a weird list.
hey, Dad, I'm finna wait in the car. Like, look at him, bro. You don't even got no logo on his shoulder. He has the audacity to wave at you. Like, hello, I'm here. Like, no, look at you. Eat a plate or two. I'm like,
Didn't speak very much English and had a really bad lazy eye. When my dad first tried to greet him, he ignored my dad and gestured us to one of the safari minivans. We were a little taken aback, but didn't think anything of it. Once we got into the van, we noticed that there was a bad smell and a bunch of animal food on the floor. He started driving before we could get our seatbelts on. We first passed by lions and hyenas. It was all really cool. There were also a bunch of vans and tour buses behind and in front of us that were taking all the attention of the animals.
Look at all
Out of the blue, the tour guide turned onto a trail that no other buses or vans were going.
He said, bruh, why was it only y'all in the van? Look at all them other people that were in the van, but it's only y'all in that one. I'm sleek.
My dad got a little suspicious and asked the tour guide where we were going. The tour guide replied with elephants, shortly because once again he didn't know English very well. Well, we really wanted to see the elephants at that time, so we all got excited. After a good 10 minutes of driving, we noticed that we had seen no animals and no other tour guides, just a never-ending forest. My mom, who has paranoia, was getting worried and repeatedly asked the tour guide where he was going. But then, he never answered. All of a sudden, he stopped the car and said he had to get something from the back of his car. My dad was getting red flags and watched him from the rearview mirror. And then, my dad hopped into the driver's seat, locked all the doors immediately, and pressed the accelerator to the floor. With a fearful face that I've never seen before like that.
What did he see though?
We were all slammed into the backs of our seats. "What's going on?" my mom yelled. "I saw him holding an axe," my dad yelled back.
Oh my gosh. Oh, whoa. That right there. See, you did it. Y'all killed it. Y'all killed it. Bro. Okay. I wasn't expecting that right there. Like, bro.
We made it back to the safari and to the receptionist.
Where's the mom?
We explained the whole situation and she called the police. They had a long search and finally he got caught after a few hours. We got a full refund and later found out that our tour guide didn't even work at the safari but used a fake ID.
So you're telling me nobody walked y'all to the van? Nobody opened the door for you, just him there. Y'all just walked there like. I'm never going on a private tour. After this, no. No, sir. Get locked up real quick, thank you.
And had history linked with murder, kidnapping, and other crimes we won't mention. We also found out the reason that the car smelled so bad was because the tour guide admitted to killing multiple safari animals and taking them home. To this day, I still wonder what would have happened if my dad didn't look in the rearview mirror when the tour guide stopped the car.
Oh my gosh. That was crazy. Alright, so
what does it take to be a Shenyun dancer?
Hold up. My favorite out the three was the TikTok one. It was like short, but it was funny. It was low-key funny. But this one, it was like these kind of were short, but you know, I like the last one, the safari one. It should be a poll up there. I'm waiting for y'all. Put your polls up there. Thank you. If you are new, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified every time I drop a banger. And you know, I will be back with some more reactions, and hopefully with my family members. If y'all don't know who they are, go to my previous videos wherever they are and go check the other videos out. Road to 1K in the comments, and I will shout you all. Love y'all. Peace. Play the new intro. We got a new intro and outro. Hold up. I mean, play. I'm finna.